The fog moves like a wounded animal across the plain. It drags itself over broken trunks, over twisted wire, over the quiet bones of a world that has already burned and been forgotten. The ground is soft with rain and memory. Somewhere in the distance, something rumbles. Perhaps thunder. Perhaps the ghost of artillery. But the sound is too tired to be either. Keiko is on her knees in the mud. Her hands are bare. The cold has long since stopped hurting. Her fingers are cracked, stained with earth, clinging to a torn strip of fabric that once belonged to her blouse. She does not use it for warmth, only to remember that there was once a time when cloth was clean, soft, and hers. Around her, other women crouch in silence. Aiko, pale as winter, presses her forehead to the ground. Yumi stares ahead, unblinking, lips parted as if waiting for a voice that never comes. They are no longer soldiers, not prisoners, not even women, it seems, only shadows that have misplaced their bodies. Keiko's ears catch it first. Footsteps, not rushed, not sharp, not the clipped rhythm of fear-driven commands. These steps are slow, uneven, unmistakably human. She stiffens. Her breath disappears inside her chest. So this is how it ends, she thinks. She does not lift her head. Instead, she waits for the shouted order she has been taught to expect. The blow, the snap of a rifle, the cruelty the leaflets anticipated, the monsters from across the sea. But none of it comes. Only another sound, softer now. A man's voice, unfamiliar, confused, gentle, almost afraid to disturb the silence. Hey, it's okay. You're safe. The words mean nothing to her, and yet everything in his tone contradicts the stories that have lived in her mind. She looks up. A figure stands a few steps away, taller than any man she knows. Broad shoulders, dusty uniform. His face is streaked with dirt, but his eyes, impossibly, are kind, tired, human. Behind him, more men appear, not shouting, not aiming. Some remove their helmets. Another lowers his rifle carefully, deliberately. The world tilts. Aiko gasps, a broken sound. Yumi's hand flies to her mouth. They do not understand the language. They understand the moment. And in the strange, aching quiet between them, a single unspoken thought passes through their trembling minds. We've never seen men like this. They move at first light, though the sky can barely remember how to be morning. Gray presses down on the land like a heavy hand. Smoke still drifts over the ruins in thin, wandering threads, threading itself through broken trees and collapsed walls. The women walk in silence, their figures pale against the dark earth, their breaths small and uncertain. Keiko walks between two American soldiers. They do not touch her. That is what confuses her most. They keep a careful distance, as if she might disappear if handled too roughly. One of them keeps glancing back, making sure the others are still following. Not like guards counting prisoners, but like shepherds afraid of losing fragile sheep in the fog. Her feet ache with every step. The ground is hard in places, soupy in others. Stones bite into her skin. Mud climbs up her calves. She does not complain. Pain has long ago become another language inside her. Beside her, Aiko whispers, the words barely carried by air. Do not look at them. The enemy turns to poison when seen too closely. Keiko wants to believe this. It would make things easier. But she looks anyway. She sees dirty uniforms torn at the edges. She sees tired eyes, rimmed red with exhaustion. She sees a young man no older than her brother used to be, chewing something and staring ahead with a distant, hollow gaze. These are supposed to be monsters, she thinks. So why do they look like men? One of the women stumbles. Her knees strike the ground with a dull, helpless sound. Instantly, a soldier steps forward. He speaks words Keiko cannot understand, his voice low, careful, like one might use with an injured animal. He holds out his hand. The woman hesitates. Then, trembling, she takes it. He pulls her up as if she weighs nothing at all. Keiko's heart pounds, not with fear alone, but with a strange, dangerous curiosity. They pass what was once a small town. A scorched bicycle lies on its side. The remains of a shop sign creak in the wind. A child's shoe sits in the middle of the road, perfectly still, as if waiting for its owner to return. Keiko cannot look at it for long. Ahead, a dark shape waits through the fog, an American truck. Its engine rumbles, steady and warm. A soldier climbs into the back and begins laying down thick blankets. Blankets, not chains, not ropes, not cages, just blankets. For the first time in many months, doubt, quiet, trembling doubt, begins to crack through the wall of fear inside her. The camp does not look like a place for enemies. That realization unsettles Keiko far more than barbed wire ever could. The truck rocks to a slow stop, and for a moment no one moves. The women sit in silence, wrapped in unfamiliar warmth, breathing in the scent of wool, oil, and something faintly sweet drifting through the air. Coffee, though they do not know the name of it yet. A soldier jumps down and holds out his hands to help them from the back. Again, touch offered, not taken. Keiko hesitates. Her muscles stiffen, prepared for pain that never arrives. When her bare feet touch the ground, she feels crushed gravel beneath them, solid, clean, not mud, not ash. She looks up. Wooden buildings stand in orderly rows. Smoke rises from a chimney, thin and calm. A flag flutters on a pole, strange, patterned, full of unfamiliar stars. Nearby, 2 American soldiers laugh quietly at a private joke. The sound startles her. It has been so long since she has heard laughter that her throat tightens around the noise. They are led toward a long building. Inside, the world changes again. Warm air, the hum of generators, light, real, electric light, glowing from the ceiling. The women squint as if stepping into another world. On a table sit neat stacks of folded clothing, towels, bars of soap. The soap is thick and white, wrapped in paper. Soap, Keiko thinks. The word feels holy. A woman in an American uniform, her hair tucked beneath a cap, smiles gently. She gestures toward the items and demonstrates washing her hands. The careful rhythm of it, the way the soap blooms into soft foam beneath water. For a moment, Keiko can only stare. Foam was something from childhood, from before the world broke. Aiko's lips tremble. Her hand touches her own cheek, as if to confirm she is still alive. One by one, they are guided to basins. Water pours, clear and endless. When Keiko places her hands beneath the stream, she nearly pulls away. The heat is a shock. Warm water, not rain, not snowmelt. Warm. As the soap touches her skin, a faint floral scent blooms upward, foreign and beautiful. She closes her eyes, and for a second she is not a prisoner of war. Not a woman of a defeated nation. Not a shadow wandering through ruins. She is simply human. Nearby, Yumi begins to cry. Silent at first, then louder, broken, relieved, confused. A soldier standing in the doorway looks away, swallowing hard as if he, too, is fighting something inside himself. And among the women, one unspoken question rises like steam into the air. If they are the enemy, why are they showing us mercy? Morning arrives behind glass windows, not shattered ones, not boarded ones. Whole windows, clean enough to let light pass through without cutting it into broken pieces. The sun stretches across the wooden floor in long golden fingers, touching the edges of the cots where the women lie. For a moment, Keiko forgets where she is. Then the smell reaches her. Warm bread. It is not the burned, bitter crust of desperation she has grown used to. It is soft, sweet, alive with heat. The air is filled with it, wrapping around her like an invisible blanket. Her stomach turns painfully, confused by abundance. They gather in a separate building for breakfast. The long tables wait, already set. Metal trays, cutlery, white cups filled with dark liquid that sends up curling steam. An American man in an apron places food in front of each woman. Eggs, yellow and shining like small suns, thick slices of bread, a round piece of fruit she does not recognize. Keiko stares at it in disbelief. This is for us? She waits for the punishment. The trick, the cruelty that must follow. None comes. Her fingers shake as she lifts a piece of bread. It is warm, soft. When she tears it, steam escapes, and the inside pulls apart like fresh cotton. She brings it to her mouth almost hesitantly, as if it might vanish. The first bite is unbearable, not because it is unpleasant, but because it is too good, too real. Butter melts on her tongue, salty and rich. Her vision blurs instantly. Around the table, other reactions unfold quietly. Aiko stares at her own tray as if it is an illusion. Yumi eats too quickly, tears slipping down her cheeks, her shoulders trembling with every swallow. At home, she whispers in Japanese, there was only husks, only water that pretended to be soup. Keiko cannot respond. The bread is lodged in her throat with all the words she wishes she could say. Later, they are given clean dresses. Simple, pale, not beautiful, but dignified. When Keiko pulls the fabric over her body, it feels strange to be covered by something unbroken, something not torn by fire or hands or panic. Outside, she sees American soldiers playing catch, a small ball flying back and forth in lazy arcs. They laugh when one misses. The sound is not bitter. It is soft, ordinary. How can ordinary exist in a world that has ended? That afternoon, she finds paper beside her bed, and a pencil. She has not written in months. Her hand trembles as she opens to a blank page and begins a diary entry. The letters slow and careful. They gave us bread today. Real bread. They smiled and no one was hurt. I am frightened, but not of them. I am frightened of what this means. And as the sun sinks beyond the quiet, intact buildings, another revelation settles painfully into her heart. The war I was taught is not the war I am living. The kindness becomes heavier with each passing day. At first it felt like mercy, then confusion, and now something far more dangerous. It settles on Keiko's shoulders like an invisible weight. A soldier named Thomas is assigned to watch their section of the camp. He is quiet, polite, awkward in the way men are, when they have seen too much and do not know how to return to ordinary life. He never stands too close. He never raises his voice. When he hands them items, he looks at the ground, as if ashamed of the uniform on his own body. One afternoon, he places an envelope on the table in front of Keiko. A letter, her name written carefully in Roman letters by someone not trained in her language. The paper feels soft, important, alive. Inside is a copy of a notice from Japan, translated, and a small personal note written by an American interpreter. The war is ending. Your home, Tokyo, is badly damaged. Many districts are gone. The words blur. Keiko stares at them, unable to breathe. Her city, her streets, her mother's garden, the bridge where she once fed fish with her sister, all now smoke and memory. The room around her, clean floors, unbroken walls. Warm light, suddenly feels like betrayal. That night she cannot eat. She sits on her cot as others sleep, listening to the soft breathing of women who have begun to dream again. Outside, the world is still and whole. Crickets sing. Somewhere a radio plays an American melody, gentle and slow. How do they have music when we have ashes? She wonders. Aiko lies beside her, eyes open in the darkness. Is it wrong to feel safe? She whispers. Keiko does not answer, because she doesn't know. The Americans do not beat them, do not starve them, do not break them the way she was taught they would. And yet every act of kindness feels like another blade, carving through the lies she has lived inside since childhood. It is easier to hate an enemy when they give you reason, harder when they give you bread, warm water, blankets, dignity. Days pass, more letters arrive, stories of ruin, of families lost, of homes turned to dust. And each time the contrast sharpens. Inside the camp, order, stability, strange peace. Outside, a world burned hollow. Keiko writes again in her diary, the pencil trembling like a living thing between her fingers. They are not what they told us. And if this is true, then what else have I been taught that is false? For the first time, fear no longer comes from guns or bombs. It comes from a thought far more terrifying. If the enemy is not the enemy, then who am I? The announcement comes quietly. No sirens, no ceremony. Only a simple gathering in the mess hall. The women seated on hard wooden benches, their quiet breathing the only sound beneath the humming electric lights. An interpreter stands at the front beside the American officer. The officer removes his cap before he speaks, holding it against his chest. His face is lined, tired, careful. The interpreter's voice carries the words, "You will not remain here much longer. The arrangements for your return are beginning. The war is ending." Ending. The word floats through the room like dust caught in sunlight. Ending means home. Ending means what remains of home. Ending means a future that has not yet decided what shape it will take. Keiko's heart does not leap the way it should. Instead, it tightens. She looks around at the walls that have sheltered her, the light that has remained steady when everything else flickered out. The floor she has learned will not collapse beneath her feet. She looks at Aiko, at Yumi, at the familiar fear and strength now woven between them. And she feels something she never thought she would feel here, grief. That night she walks outside alone. The camp is quiet, the sky open and endless above her. For the first time in months she can see stars, not blurred by smoke, not hidden by fire. They are whole. She wraps her arms around herself against the cool air and remembers. The first moment she saw the American soldiers, the dread, the trembling, the certainty of death. How small that certainty feels now. Behind her, soft footsteps approach. Thomas stops a short distance away. He does not speak at first. Neither does she. Finally, he places something gently in her palm. A small bar of soap, the same faint floral scent. "For the road," he says quietly, the words slow and careful. Keiko bows her head, the only way she knows to say thank you. When she looks up again, his eyes are shining. In her final diary entry, she writes, We expected beasts and found men. We expected death and found life. The war took everything from us, except the strange, fragile truth that kindness can exist even among ruins. When the truck finally carries her away weeks later, she does not look back at the fences or the guards or the flags. She looks at the sky. And for the first time in a world broken by war, Keiko Tanaka does not feel like a prisoner, nor a survivor, nor a symbol. She feels like a human being, still standing, still capable of wonder, and forever changed by the most unexpected revelation of all. Humanity had survived, and on both sides,